Why are you wearing a hat?
Because my hair's a mess, Jack. Why are you wearing a hood, Robin?
Because I'm mysterious.
You know, your background's blurry again. You're making me dizzy. Please stop.
Right, do you want me to invite this fella then?
Yeah. Thought you'd already done that.
don't do that. How's your Christmas?
Very good, mate.
Yeah,
Lovely. Lovely time with the kids. Ooh, I kicked my stand. How was yours?
really cool.
Got yourself a new present, didn't you?
Then what?
Bought yourself a new present, didn't you, for Christmas?
I got a new car.
Nice.
I know.
So you got a steering wheel?
I go get it tomorrow.
You got windows?
Got windows, got tires.
I can kick them for you. Make sure it's all right if you want. Or not. It's up to you.
Don't touch them.
All right. My new
Don't
car.
touch it.
The other one died, didn't it? Rest in peace.
Yeah, completely kaput. Engine needs a new engine, so that had cost more than what my Jimmy is worth. So,
Yeah, you didn't even fit in it, to be fair.
what?
You didn't even fit in that last car, to be fair.
You calling me fat?
No, just tall.
Um,
You know what it reminded me of? Like when the clowns get out of the little car at the circus. I am calling you a clown.
but yes, no. What I did do today, was so my old insurance company, have been shockingly shit. So I don't know if I told you at the start of the month I actually got bumped in some traffic. Did I tell you about that?
I
Whilst I was,
think you might.
whilst I was driving the Jimny, I had someone go in the back of me. Not a lot, but a little. And I called initially I just got in contact with her insurance company and they said, yeah, we'll sort it all. Don't worry about it. Just send us some pictures, blah, 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 blah. So, okay, no worries. There wasn't a lot of damage. There was just a little bit of like indentation in the back of the car. So I just thought, fuck it, I'll just let them sort it. So I sent them pictures and whatnot. Anyway, I didn't hear anything off them for like a week and a half. So I thought, well, that's not a lot of damage, but I still want to get it fixed. So I got in contact with my insurance company, explained to them the whole situation, which was really frustrating. The insurance company would have got in contact with mine and they'd be in the know and whatnot, but they didn't. They had no idea. So I had to explain the whole thing again. And all I said, can you just get in contact with them, figure this out, tell me when I drop my car off at a garage and give me a hire car. They said, oh, yeah, yeah, no, we'll sort all that. Everything will be fine. You'll get that all done. Yeah, we'll be in contact. I thought, great. And then nothing. Didn't hear a fucking thing. Literally, just like they forgot about me. So when I called today to report, like, obviously my car is now written off, I initially started the conversation by sort of saying, what the hell is going on? Why have I had no support? Where's the phone call? Why has no one followed up on anything? And they're all like, oh, we're so sorry. We're so sorry. I said, well, it's kind of done now. I said, to be honest with you, I said, I'd like to make a formal complaint. I said, so can you put me in touch with your complaints team and get them to call me? I said, and I want to get rid of my policy. Also, I want to close it all. So I ended up getting some money back on the refund. And I've got a confirmation email to say that their complaints department will be in touch with me as well. Because they've just been shockingly shit, mate. Really,
Oh,
really
you
bad.
bitch.
But it felt, you know what? It felt like cleansing some demons, mate. Because that
Yeah.
I hate anything to do with cars or anything like that. I like a bit of assurance to think that someone else will just sort it all for me. That's what I
Yeah.
like. And I've literally just had no support, nothing. Just that, they sell it all. Go, oh yeah, no, we'll sort all this for you. We'll do all this.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, it wasn't you. I was confused if you told me or not, but it wasn't. It was another mate of mine who's just dealing with insurance policy, and it was a bit of a ball ache as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, not good, mate.
That's
But
crap.
you're in a better place now.
I am, mate, and I feel good about it. Obviously, I got some money back. I'm getting my old car scrapped, so I'll get a bit of money out of that. Um, and yeah, it should all be paid for. I've got my car, pick up my car tomorrow. Just sorted out some new insurance for that, and yeah, all good, mate.
Yeah, nice. Happy days.
Yeah, and then I'm up to the north again.
See the missus.
You need to be careful, mate. You know she listens to this podcast, right?
Oh, she lives in Newcastle. What's she going to do?
She's coming down in January.
Ooh, tell her to bring a sister or a friend. I'm joking. Jesus.
She'll be coming down to the dip, Samuel.
Is she? In January? I won't be there. I'm joking. I'll need to get back in the gym though for this boxing. So I'm gonna be doing less dips.
Before you move on, she will be meeting you. We'll be coming to your flat. We'll be going for coffee.
Oh yeah, good.
So you best be prepared, mate.
Don't play out this episode until I've met. Have you frozen or was it? Huh?
You froze, I think.
What's the time? We've got Gary coming on today.
Nearly 7. Yes. So your friend up north, or someone that you've contacted or been in touch with, or is this a sober friend? Is it who is he?
You just froze then on me. You're back now.
You froze on me.
Oh. All right, Elsa. The cold never bothered me anyway. Oh, I like it when we do these face-to-face ones, like over Zoom.
Yeah, they're fun, aren't they?
But that's the reason we're doing the Zoom one today, because our guest is up in Scotland.
I know you said it to me this morning. You said, "Oh, he's up in Scotland." I was like, "Well, Sam, we ain't gonna have time to go up and see him." So,
which made me laugh. You were like, "We can't just go to Scotland for the day,"
no.
Which is not what I meant anyway. But we have done that before, Jack. We have just gone to Scotland for the day.
Yeah,
we climbed a mountain near Monroe. We dipped in a loch and then we travelled back and I went to work. That was that was a long round ass trip. And then of course we went back and conquered the bigger mountain, Mount Everest. No, it wasn't Everest. No, it was Ben Nevis. That's one. Potato Tar. They're pretty much the same thing. Yeah, so he lives up in Scotland. He is sober and proud and online. He posts about it and everything. He's also took on the Dare to Dip challenge. He's been sending me notifications on Instagram.
What's of him getting his Instagram handle? What is he on Instagram?
The Sober Cyclist, I believe.
Excellent. Yeah. I had a bit of a disaster yesterday. I went into work yesterday because that was what my detail read last week, and I was okay with it. I thought I had Christmas weekend off, so I was happy with that. And then I got in and checked my detail again, and they told me off without even telling me or anything. So I wasn't actually meant to be in. So I said, okay, I'll work half a day, and then I took my half a day off today.
Oh, really? Happy days.
Yeah. Anyway, we've got someone trying to come in. Should I admit them?
Yes.
Enjoy the episode, everyone. Like and subscribe. YouTube, Spotify, Jackie Boy Shep on Instagram.
At Dare_to_Dip.
This guy right here. Join the Facebook group, Dare to Dip, every day down Felixstowe. There's always a crew down there. They're amazing, lovely, lovely people. Get cold water into your life. The benefits are undeniable. Just quickly before we go, I had a message from someone from work who went and done a dip Boxing Day because he'd had quite a few of them on Christmas Day and had a bad hangover. He went and done a dip at Cromer Beach. He said it cured his hangover like that, and he felt so much better. He's now going to incorporate it into his New Year's resolution, and 2023 he's going to be dipping regularly.
Can I just say, do you know what else cures a hangover? Not fucking drinking in the first place.
Peace out.
Yeah.
I'm cutting that out. I'm cutting it out. It's done.
Yeah, and yourself. I had some technological issues there, which I've run about. I tried to go on my laptop, and that had a bit of an issue. Because it's a works laptop, they won't let you download anything.
So really?
I'm like, Nicola, iPad, come on, quick. And I've just spilled some coke on the floor here, but all's good.
Yeah, apart from that, you're all right, yeah? How have you been, my friend?
Yeah, I've been very well, thank you. Yeah. Super duper, actually. Yeah, great. Great Christmas.
That's brilliant, mate. Yeah. I decided to get you on because obviously we've connected over Instagram over this last few months or whatever it's been. Yeah. And then you took on the DareTo Dip challenge, and plus you're on a sobriety journey as well. So I wanted to get you on just to tell your story, really.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll start off quickly. You're doing the 31 days DareTo Dip challenge. You've done cold water before, though, haven't you? You're always in a lock up in Scotland.
Yeah. This is my first year doing it, so it's the first winter that I've been doing it. And I think you asked us about this challenge way back in September when it was still quite warm, and it's like yes, let's do it. Yeah, absolutely. And obviously Barry, my mate as well, Baz, who you know, decided to do it along with me. So yeah, is that light annoying you in the back there? Is that okay?
That's all right, mate. As long as it's all right with you. Yeah.
Sorry.
No worries, mate. So how are you finding the cold water then?
I'm finding this challenge very difficult, to be honest with you. It's not easy. The whole, I mean, I take my hat off to yourself for 365 days consistently. This is the longest I've ever done it in concurrent days.
How many days did you do in a row before?
I'll go back slightly. So doing it in December, first I've done it in the winter time, and it's been really, really tough mentally, I think. I wouldn't say getting in the water. It's really just that actually going to the Loch, albeit it's only one of them's only a 5-minute drive from me here. But it's getting that in, and if it's been howling a gale or windy or raining or snow, it's been difficult. But Christ, it doesn't have to build your mental resilience. I'll tell you that. That's for sure.
Yeah. Do you ever regret going in the water? Or is it just the initial first bit that?
Initial first bit. Not all the time. It's not all the time. What I do find a difference is I actually enjoyed when we had those Arctic temperatures because it was dry, it was bright. Because I live in the west of the country, we don't get the great sunrises as probably you do. And I think you're in the east, aren't you? You're on the east coast. So you'll get great sunrises. I don't get them here, so it can be really dull in the morning. So that can be quite hard to get sort of motivated and get moving. But not every morning. And to answer your question, I'm never regret it. Absolutely not. Yeah. The minute I stick my head under the water, and lift it back out, that's it. Yeah. Buzzing.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's what I've always said. That sometimes you don't feel like getting in, but the results are always the same when you come out. But don't put yourself on any pressure. I know the challenge is called a challenge for a reason, but like, just try and enjoy the last few days. Anyway, you've absolutely.
Let's be honest, mate. I mean, you know what it's like dipping in a loch. If I had a loch on my doorstep, I'd be down there every day, without a doubt.
Yeah, we loved it, didn't we? We went up to Scotland. We're going to come up and see you soon and dip with you in your loch.
Definitely.
100%.
Brilliant, mate. I really look forward to that.
Yeah, it's going to be brilliant. Congratulations on smashing this challenge as well, because I know some days you've had to go down on your own into the loch, haven't you? And that can't always be easy as well. So, well done. Yeah. I've really enjoyed everyone that's taken part and seeing your posts in the morning and getting involved with it, helping raise an awareness. And then you done that charity day in the middle of it as well, and loads of people joined you in the loch as well. That was really nice to see. So, hats off to you, mate. Hats off to you.
No, thank you. I think the competitive bit of me, I played football right up until I was probably in my sort of early 40s. So that competitive part of me will always drive me on. Yeah. You know, not want to let anybody down, and I've never given up on anything. I'm not a quitter. But doing this challenge, it's important for the mental health aspect. As you and I have chatted about in our live not that long ago, we need to keep bringing it to the fore. And weirdly enough, when we had the Arctic temperature, I couldn't get the car up the hill. So I had to park my car probably about half a mile away. So, of course, I'm walking up with my dry robe on up in the road where I live. And a few neighbours who I don't really know that well, I stood speaking to them. And you been in the water? I went, yeah. Fucking hell, you're mental. Well, that sort of stuff. I went,
Yeah.
And I started explaining about why we do it, why we do the cold water, and also why I was doing it. And then I'm very open about my mental health, because if you're not open about it, how can you expect to talk about it with or expect other people to talk about it? So anyway, long story short, I ended up speaking to the guy, and he just opened up and said he had PTSD. He was a fireman, and he ended up with PTSD, had to leave the fire service because of that. And that whole conversation was just sparked by me talking about my own mental health. And then him saying, all right, I'm going to speak about mine as well. And it's so powerful. We talk about making ourselves vulnerable, don't we, to people. And I don't know if you follow Bo Payne, Sober Bo.
I'm not
guy
sure.
in America. Bo Payne's an ex baseball player. He's had some really hard times. He's got a book out and stuff like that. And he's, I think, a couple of years sober. But anyway, he had said yesterday about making yourself vulnerable, how powerful it is to those who love you, your kids particularly, and making yourself vulnerable. I know I'm digressing here slightly. I'm going to be in a tangent, but
that's fine.
Yeah, go ahead.
It just sparked that whole conversation. And you have your group, we have our group as well, Man Clan, which we're now getting more and more men opening up about their mental health and coming on and speaking about it and taking that first step forward, which is the hardest part, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. And you hit the nail on the head. Then that's the power of opening up and talking, just from you speaking, because he could have held that with him forever and not spoke about it if someone hadn't been vulnerable and spoke about their own experience with him first. And I think that's how it works. Definitely. There was you said you're not a quitter, you don't give up. But there is one thing I know that you've quit and you've give up, and that's the booze, which I'm proud of you for. How long have you been sober now?
That's nearly 10 months. It'll be middle of January. It'll be 10 months. So we'll call it 9.5 months at this moment in time, which
that's
is
incredible.
It's the longest I've went not drinking in my adult life, to be honest with you. Yeah. I think this time I've had two previous terms of sobriety. One was 9 months, then lockdown happened. Yeah. And then some people stopped drinking at lockdown. I just went the other way and just went full on. Yeah. And then 6 months, about 6 months after that, I had another 6 months of sobriety, and I lost that just by boredom. But this time feels a lot different. I feel as if this time, I think the last twice I was white knuckling it. Yeah. And we all know you can't do that. You need some of the tools at your disposal. And I think for me, having all the tools at my disposal has certainly helped. And I don't even think about alcohol anymore. It doesn't even cross my mind. I think I said to somebody the other day, I think I've rewired my subconscious. I just rewired it to not think about alcohol anymore. So, we all have triggers and anchors, etc. You'll know about that. I just don't have any. There's no smell that says, oh, I'll have a drink, or there's no, like going to a party or Christmas that triggers it. It's gone in the back of my head, mate, and long may that continue to move forward,
Yeah, that's incredible, mate, and that is a brilliant way of looking at it. That's this sort of conversation. You learn more about your own sobriety as well when you're talking to others. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, you hit the nail on the head, and I think changing your mentality towards booze is a massive key factor in staying sober. Hence, that's why, like, both of us are similar in the ways where we'll share posts and try and help others, and I think that is the key to staying sober, meeting milestones, aiming towards them. I like to post a sign with my sobriety and celebrate it each month, and encourage others to give up drinking and that, and that's what works, helping others. I truly believe that. I actually had a conversation with my mum this morning. I said it's weird because drink is so accepted And people make more comments to me now about me posting too much on social media than they ever did me drinking too much. And I think that's mad. And people will say, "Do you not think you're replacing one addiction with another through social media?" And I think, well, yeah, you're right. Perhaps I should go back to the cocaine and the drink. You know what I mean? Yeah. I think there is a, like, if you're doing stuff in a positive way, then your life's much better for it. Then go for it. And I love seeing your posts, and they really help me on my sobriety, mate. So
thank you, mate.
Yeah.
I think just recently it's been more about, I've been a bit more spiritual in the last year. I don't know if you've seen some of my posts, and I had a bit of a trauma when I was younger. I lost my younger brother. I was only 12, he was 11, and I rode accident, was knocked down and killed. So I've had mental health problems all through my life, and just recently, I don't believe in God. I don't believe in religion, but I'm a bit spiritual. I believe there is something. They're each their own. But I believe there is something after life. So when I started doing the dips, I think it was about 2 weeks ago, a wee robin appeared right next to me. And every day I went to the same spot at Loch, the robin's there, right up at my feet, right there. So I'm thinking, that's my brother. That gives me a bit more sort of comfort.
Yeah, so I love that, mate.
Yeah, it's been. I think being sober opens up your mind to so many different things. Cold water, as an example. We had this conversation a few weeks back. If I went back to where I used to live and sat with the same group of guys that I used to do coke with and drink with, and sat and said, right, about a year ago, right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do these cold water dips, right? I'm going to go on Instagram. I'm going to be this sober person. I'm going to go to holistic camps. I'm going to holistic retreats. I'm going to believe in spirituality. They'd probably fucking hit me with a baseball bat.
They think you're on drugs.
Yeah. It's like, you want that line? Yeah, there you go.
You're right though. But it's funny how life can change, and if it's changed for the better, because we're the lucky ones. Really, there's lots of people that have failed what we've done, and lots of people that didn't make it out alive. Do you know what I mean? So,
yes,
whatever works for you. And I'm the same as you. I don't believe in go to church and God and that, but I'm very spiritual these days, and I believe there's something higher than us, and I believe that that our loved ones look out for us, and that, and the same story you've said with the robin. There's a little white feather that I always see in the sea on the days I need to see it, and I believe that's my nan. And there's a story there that we spoke about before, with my mate who I spoke to him about this feather, and his granddad had just passed, and as we were talking, it floated between us.
Wow.
White feather, and the last time I saw it was on Christmas Day, actually, and I just laugh and smile at it now, and I think that's my nan just saying hello.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
gives you comfort. Gives you
absolutely,
comfort,
absolutely. Yeah, definitely, mate, definitely.
And
what age did you start drinking then?
Like stereotypical British males, I think I was probably about 15.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I had a drink, it was bear in mind I'm 52, I'm probably a lot older than you guys, so Kestrel Lager was a lager, and there used to be a fortified wine called El Dorado,
right.
or as we called it in Scotland, LD, and it was fucking disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. And why, it just shows you the addiction, doesn't it, to alcohol, that we drink something that is so disgusting that we go back and drink it again.
Yeah.
Because you get that 20-minute buzz out it. So I was more about going to sort of parties when I was younger, doing the usual, getting people to go into the off license for you, and buy you alcohol. That's happened. And then I started, when I got to about 17, I was quite tall, so I started getting served in the pubs. So we used to park our BMX bikes outside the pub and go in for a pint. And you know what? At the time, it felt so grown up, going to the bar and getting served, and it's as if it was I'm a man, and look at me, but I'll tell you what, I've never felt so more grown up now that I'm sober than I ever did when I drank. If that makes sense. So all those years of hard drinking, for me, 30. If I went to my 18s, if I really started hitting it 18, 19, probably 35 years of drinking.
Yeah.
And then
was it an issue
child of the
straight away
90s.
for you? Was it an
Pardon?
issue straight away, the drinking for you?
Yeah.
Did it play up with your mental health and everything? Do
Yeah.
you feel depressed with it?
No, because I see, you think back when you're 16, 15, 16, you don't think about your mental health.
No.
And if I go back all those years, it was never to the fore. Now, when it happened to my younger brother, we got some counselling, and that was about it. You know, I probably did have mental health issues, but I wasn't aware of them. And I probably wasn't aware of them until, oh God, and probably into my late 30s before I actually thought it. But what I had been doing, if I look at it, pardon?
The culture would have been very different. So the approach is completely off as different these days.
Spot on. You don't. It's not as to the fore as it is now. You know, back then there was nothing. You know, PTSD wasn't even a thing. You know, back in the day it was shell shock. They called it for people that come out of the army. So for me, I wasn't really aware of it. But what I look at retrospectively, probably I was using it as a crutch, and I've used it as a crutch all these years. You know, not always consciously, but subconsciously. My subconscious is saying, Gary's depressed, drink. Gary's depressed, drink. And when I was younger, I had a bit of a gambling habit, you know, fruit machines, and, you know, I stole money and stuff like that, which I'm certainly not proud of. And a lot of that was sort of, you know, probably an impact to, you know, the trauma that I had when I was much younger. So when I got to my 20s, that's when they really accelerated. My early 20s, you know, the 90s hit, you know, and for what I can remember of the 90s, you know, it was all immersed in just a haze of, you know, recreational drugs and alcohol, and times where, you know, whenever I took drugs, and I remember portions of my life where I was in a ball crying. Even that didn't stop me drinking. I never correlated it to alcohol, and it wasn't until probably my first time I stopped drinking a few years back, I thought, you know what, my mental health suddenly got better. Oh, this is great. But then you get to that comfort zone, then you spiral down the rabbit hole, and before you know it, you're all the way down again.
Yeah.
And I've been Sam, I've been on my antidepressants the majority of my life. But since I got sober and I done the cold water and the whole holistic part, I don't have any. I've stopped it completely.
Yeah.
I stopped it. Yeah.
Yeah, I did the same. I'm not recommending anyone listening to this does that. You know what
Absolutely.
works. Yeah, know what works for yourself and that. But I did exactly the same. I come off my antidepressants and stopped drinking and everything. And the cold water has just been that hole, filled that hole that was missing, I think. And
yes.
it is a very powerful tool. So even if I don't, after this challenge, I'm going to be getting into the gym and stuff because I've got a boxing fight coming up. I'm never gonna not do some form of cold therapy. If I don't go down to the beach, I'll be getting in the shower each morning before I go to the gym and having a cold shower and that. And sometimes if I have a cold shower, I might need another one later on in that evening. But the cold water is always there for a tool just to reboot yourself, I think. And it's so powerful. And I do honestly believe that is one of the tools that has helped me stay sober, but not only stay sober, go back to what you said before and change that mentality and mindset and strengthen your mind, that you don't always need something mind altering to deal with your stresses and your emotions.
Absolutely. And I think I've learned that I'm a lot calmer than I used to be. Definitely, I have probably more calmer discussions with two teenagers, one at 13 and one at 15, one's the other 14 actually. So you can imagine this. Your kids are quite young, aren't they? So
yeah, but they're like little teenagers.
Yeah, we're all coming to you, mate. I've already experienced it. A son who's 25 from a previous marriage, and I've got two stepsons. And even the conversations I have with them now, if they do something wrong, rather than shouting and bawling, it solves absolutely zero. It's having a conversation like we're chatting just now, you know, in that kind of tone, and they actually respond so much better. I've learned so much about my own behaviour and how it influences others.
Yeah.
So if I confront him, he's going to confront back. So the cold water is definitely chilled me out. Don't get me wrong, there's still things that press my buttons.
Yeah.
You know, Never limit,
but that's
don't
because
we?
you're human. We're human at the end of the day, aren't we?
It's a natural response, isn't it? It's a natural response.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
But there's things that press my buttons still sometimes as well. But what I notice as well is I don't dwell on it as much now as well. And,
No.
And the little things like a red light don't bother me anymore. And
Yes.
like you say, just being present, not screaming at me kids and that, and just getting to just taking the time to think how they're feeling, get in their situation, and come down to their level and talk to them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and it's so powerful as well, and it does definitely give you more calm. Do you know what I mean?
Definitely more zen.
Yeah, exactly, mate. Yeah, zen. Right. I couldn't think of a word then. I just went with calm.
Yeah, my dad says to me, "You're becoming a hippie."
Yeah, peace and love, man.
Thanks, Dad. Yeah. That's what I did to him. Peace.
Yeah. So, do you still have your bad days with your mental health?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And weirdly enough, excuse me, today just felt a wee bit kind of down the dumps earlier today. We've got a WhatsApp group that I've got some close mates, and you met Adam and Barry, and then another 2 or 3 close mates that Rob was a sober decorator. So our WhatsApp group is not the stereotypical, well, hey, you know, some of the videos you used to get with your mates and stuff like that. It's nothing like that. Yeah. It's more about we support each other and help each other. It's almost like having a mini man clan and a mini therapy meeting. So anyway, even today, pardon?
Very important having a group like that.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. And I guess it's finding your tribe, isn't it? As we say. But even today, I just thought, you know, I can't bother replying to any messages. But I knew immediately. I knew how I was feeling, and I identified how I was feeling, and I understand. Sometimes just that general acceptance how you are feeling. I get depressed. I don't get as much anxiety. My partner, she suffers from anxiety, and you know, I find it difficult to deal with her anxiety. And then when I'm a wee bit depressed myself, so yes, to answer your question, I still get bouts of depression, but it don't last as long as it used to.
Yeah, that's because you probably talk about it. Well, that is probably one, but 100%. You've got that group now. You've put people in place around you, a good support network around you, and when you are feeling like that, instead of just sitting in that on your own, you've got the savvy now to message a friend and let them know how you're feeling. And it goes back to an old saying, but it's so true. But a problem shared is a problem half. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Did I say that right, Jack? Did I say that right, Jack? I messed that up.
You certainly did, Samuel. Right? I'm proud of you. Proud of you.
Yes.
For doing that.
Yes, getting good at this.
It's all right.
You should be so proud of how far you've come, mate, and you are truly, truly inspirational. I love that I found you and a number of people on Instagram. Do you know what I mean? Like, and if I'm having one of them days, I'll look onto Instagram and find someone else in our community and look at the posts and everything, and it just gives you that little reboot. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's so powerful, isn't it? I mean, I was never a social media fan. Didn't like social media. Can't be bothered with Facebook. I'm still the same with Facebook, actually. But then back in, I think it was June, I said to my missus, I said, I'm going to start a page. And the whole part was be accountable. That was the first part. And now it's just growing into something that's so big, and you know, people like yourself, you know, watching what you do, you guys inspire me on a regular basis. You know, the people you're with, you particularly, you know, everybody in the community, there's inspiration all around. Yeah. And some of the people that speak back to you and say, listen, you know, I mean, I get messages now and again with some, I've been struggling with the cold water. What do you think I should do with this? And then they'll do it, and then they'll come back to me and say, oh, guys, that was amazing. Thanks so much. Or I always make sure that I take the time out when people are, you know, 2 weeks sober to say, you know, well done, fantastic. Because we've all been 1 week, 2 weeks, 1 day, 2 days, haven't we? Yeah. So that's important. And there's some great people that I've met, you know, face to face and online, and friendships that I'm making that I never ever thought possible.
Yeah. Well, it's everyone on the same journey, and you find each other, don't you? And that's the way forward. I think 100% finding people. We said it on our live that time, didn't we? You said it tonight. Finding your own tribe and that. And when people are on the same journey, no one's encouraging to have a drink or anything. People are encouraging each other not to, and that's the difference.
Exactly. Exactly. And everybody's the same sort of journey. Now I'm probably more in tune with what's happening with my mental health, and then the next step is to look at my physical health. I heard you saying about the gym. I had a bad cycling accident back in July, so I'm kind of struggling still. I got hit by a car, so I'm still struggling a wee bit. So 2023 for me is getting the physical part right. I don't want to be a skinny mini. I don't bollocks, can't be bollocks with that. I'm just comfortable. Just nice and comfortable. And
when did you get hit by a car?
Pardon?
When did you get hit by a car?
July the 12th.
Yeah, what happened? That's my birthday.
Yeah, I was out cycling. I was probably doing.
Not making about me.
Yeah, I was just sort of cycling back home 2 miles out from where I live, and a car pulled out and as we say in Scotland, scudded me, and then knocked me over the other side of the road. I had to crawl off the other side of the road because it was an A-class road. Could easily have been killed, to be honest with you. So, I was probably travelling about 22 miles an hour, which is quite quick on a bike.
That's
and the sheets came out. Yeah, I was probably doing about at least 200 miles a week on my bike. And I remember I came back from Norfolk, and I was on holiday in Norfolk, and Christ, it's brilliant. Norfolk is so bloody flat, and there's not many.
Norfolk, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
And Norwich fans.
So just a couple of miles from where I live, left me really sort of down one side, my sort of left knee. So I'm doing rehabilitation just now for my left knee. And it's quite hard because I'm quite an active guy. I like to go out walking and stuff like that, but it's just I go to football matches and
you used to play at a high level, didn't you?
Pardon?
Did you play? You played at a high level of football, didn't you?
No, you would call it semi-pro. I'd call it junior football. But I've coached football for about 22 years as well. So about a famous person I used to coach football, and there's only a nipper, was Lewis Capaldi.
Wow.
Yeah.
So Lewis is from
cool.
Lewis is from the same village as me.
Really?
In a place called Whitburn in West Lothian, where I'm originally from.
Yeah.
Also a band called the Snuts. Have you heard of the Snuts?
Not heard of them, no.
No, but more like a young band. I only know them because they're from they've had a number one and stuff like that. But anyway, I'm digressing slightly.
Yeah.
So I've been involved in coaching and football.
Yeah, just dropping the celebrities.
Yeah, just name dropping.
I watched Lewis Capaldi at Ed Sheeran's concert. Ed Sheeran's from where we're from.
Oh yeah. Touché, mate. I'm not going to go on about my accident. Put me, but yeah, it's that was a tough time because back in July, twice in my sobriety, where it's been quite testing. Once was when I got knocked down with a bike. I thought, sitting, I can't do bollocks all, I can't move. I was laid up.
Do you know what? I think that's probably one of my biggest faults. I'm quite an avid cycler myself, and
right.
Touch wood, I've never had kind of big crashes. I've come off a couple of times off my own doing, really, more than anything else, and I've took up like a couple of layers of skin off my shoulder before. That's probably my worst one, but I think biggest fear would be actually getting wiped out by a car. And I think, the age-old saying, but you're always told, always get up. That's that you have to get back up on the bike and you have to keep going. I suppose getting that sort of impact from a car and that kind of taken out and injured, there's almost kind of more anticipation then to getting back on the bike and then how you cope with it and how you deal with that going forward. Because obviously you've had that in the back of your mind. You've got that thought of, oh shit, like I know exactly how it feels now to get hit by a car, and it's not something you want to do again,
No,
I think that's credit to you as well, Gary, because a lot of people would have used that as an excuse to drink and go off the rails again. But that shows how far you've come and how serious you're taking your recovery, because that would have been an excuse maybe in the past to just go off the rails again. Do you know what I mean? So it's proven, if anything, there's a massive positive from that incident, is that you really, really want to stay sober this time. Do you know what I mean? So
100%, mate. And I did say to my missus, you know, I said to Nicola, I said, you know, fuck this, you know, I'm just going to go back in a drink. And she went, no, don't throw away what you've done so far. Don't be daft. And that one word from her was fine. Go back to what you were saying there, Jack. I mean, I don't do road cycling anymore, and I now do the gravel cycling because
it
has scarred me, to be honest
with
you.
I'm surprised. You know, that doesn't surprise me. That's shit, man. That's like worst case scenario, something like
that. Exactly. So now, weirdly enough, I came back along from the gravel path, and about 5-6 weeks ago, I come up onto the road. And of course, I'm already apprehensive. It's only a small bit of road I had to cross. I could feel a guy just breathing down my neck on my back wheel.
Yeah.
And I was actually shaking like a leaf.
Really?
And I've just said to my missus, I'm not doing it on the A-class roads anymore. It's just a shame because I love it.
Yeah.
I've cycled all over Europe, you know, Switzerland, France, Spain, and I love it. But hey, listen, my life's more important to me nowadays, mate. But you're right. Could easily have just went off the rails. The sort of second time was I had a mate of mine who phoned me up and said that he had testicular cancer. And anyway, as it transpires, before I go into this story, he doesn't, because the doctor gave him the wrong advice. But at the time, your mate phones you up to tell you that. I'm thinking, fucking hell. Do you know what? Why am I doing this sobriety thing? Why am I doing this when he's got this? And why don't I just get pissed and fuck it? You know, what's the point? What's the point when this sort of thing happens? You know, it transpires, he diagnosed wrong. But at the time, again, Nicola, my partner, put me back down and said, listen, Gary, these things happen in life. Don't look for an excuse. As you were saying, Sam, don't look for an excuse to go back in the piss. And it only lasted 30 seconds.
Yeah.
You know, I was right. You know, yeah, you're right. And I listen to other podcasts and things about my parents are 74 and 76 respectively. They're not going to live forever.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of I do the Billy Connolly thing. Do you know the Billy Connolly thing? Do you know what that is?
I know Billy Connolly.
You got Billy Connolly when he speaks, he goes off in one subject, then goes away to somewhere else, but comes back. So,
right.
It's
good stuff anyway, mate. It's good stuff. I'm enjoying it.
But and I was in to see my parents the other day, and my mother's she's never really drank much. She is didn't like it. Maybe one or two tipples at Christmas at best. And she said, when it's my funeral, I want this and that. There've been no alcohol whatsoever. And my dad says, oh no, we'll have to. I said, wait a minute. Of course, I'm the sober person. I'm saying, does I want to have alcohol? And then he said, oh, when it's mine, I want to have alcohol. My mother said, oh, well, you know, you can't do that. Well, you can't have it both ways, Mum. You know, that's his wishes to do so. But it doesn't mean to say I have to start getting pissed when eventually the time goes for him. So I learned to understand that there are things that happen in life. Alcohol just is not the answer. It's not the answer. It's not a crutch. It's not something that you need to help you sleep, to make you feel better if you're stressed, to help your anxiety, to help your depression. None of the above. Life, I've never just felt as more buzzing at my tits in life.
Yeah.
Just by being sober.
Yeah, you get high on life, mate. You appreciate the little things again, and I truly believe the further and further you get into it, the better and better it gets as well. Do you know what I mean? So, I touch wood will never ever go back down that road again. And you can look at it a different way, like with your friend, and you think, oh fuck this, might as well have a drink if he's getting cancer. Or you can look at it another way and think, well, I've got my health. And the better thing I can do to keep my health is not put any toxins and that in my body as well. Do you know what I mean? That's what you ultimately chose in the end. And I think that was the right decision, personally.
You're spot on, mate. And weirdly enough, I suffer from arthritis. So the kind of arthritis I have is linked with psoriasis, which is a skin condition.
Right.
So until I started doing the cold water dips, I had to take an injection once a month in my leg. And it was almost like an autoimmune injection, if you like. It does something to my immune system. And it stops me getting off my arthritis. And probably the last 3 months, I haven't taken any.
That's incredible. That's incredible.
Any relief. Yeah, I take the odd painkiller for my knee because it's sore, but no arthritis drugs. My psoriasis not came back.
Yeah.
You know, because I've been sober, doing the cold water dips. You know, I get up in the morning. Don't get me wrong, I'm like a tin man in the morning. I still need that's like a bit of oil on.
Yeah.
But once I come out of the water, I'm like, yes. You know,
that cold water is so good, not just physically, but not just mentally, but physically as well. It is so good. It really does shrink down the inflammation in the body. And I always repeat myself on this podcast, but it's important to drill it into people. But like me and Jack have said before, when the inflammation in your body is where stuff like cancer and stuff breeds, and if you shrink that, it's a very, very healthy way of living. And inflammation that you can't see will shrink the stuff.
Totally, the health benefits are completely undeniable. We know that.
Yeah,
yes.
And the stress inside the body, and like I said before, if you hit your knee at school and it swells up, they put an ice pack on it and it shrunk it down. That's the same thing as what you're doing with the stress in your body and the inflammation that builds up. Is when you get in the cold water, you're shrinking it all down, and it's got so many health benefits, physically and mentally. That's why I wanted to set this challenge up and get as many people involved in it as possible, because it will change your life for the better.
Absolutely. Well, I'm doing that. I'm doing a dip on Christmas Day. Actually for Hogmanay, I'm going to meet a group at Loch, and we're doing a dip for the bells.
Really?
So rather getting pissed at the bells, we're doing a dip. It's for charity.
Mix it up.
That's great.
Yeah, amazing, mate. Amazing. You know, I think
I kind of want to ask you guys as well, just around like this time of year, sort of with Christmas and like New Year's and whatnot. Everyone's out boozing. That's like, everyone has their Christmas work dues. Everyone has parties. They've got Christmas. How have you guys coped with all of that? How have you found it?
Easy. I found it easy. I don't mean to be flippant about it, but I'll be honest with you. I found it relatively easy. I haven't struggled at all. I mean, my circle of mates, if you like, or so-called mates that I don't call them my mates, probably drinking buddies, are through probably about an hour and 10 minutes away from here, so I don't see them as much. So it was really just the family here for Christmas Day. So alcohol was not a factor at all. I've had work night outs where I left at 10:15. Quite happy to leave at 10:15, and everybody was sort of gibbering a lot of shite. You know, that way when you're hearing the same story 3 times.
Yeah.
So you just know that it's time to go. I've been to corporate events. You know, the job that I do, there's always sort of industry events I've been to. I've been to them. I've enjoyed them. I've had lucid conversations with people. I've networked like I've never networked before, because usually it would just be, you would get pissed and you forget who you spoke to, and having tangible conversations, lucid conversations. But Christmas for me and stuff like that has been fine. New Year, I don't really bother with anyway. That's a bit different for a Scottish person, but it used to be back in the day, you could see somebody's light on, you would chat their door or knock on their door, and then they would invite you in. Nowadays, nobody wants to do that anyway. So I think even the last few years for New Year, I'm not much interested. I don't go to the pub or that anymore either. I just don't see the benefits. I mean, Nicola said to me one time, she says, I think I was about 6 months into my sobriety, and she said, I'm missing the pub. I went, okay. She said, I feel as if you're just shutting yourself away. I went, yeah, probably am. I said, but listen to me, what do you miss about the pub? And she said, oh, I miss this person, that person. I says, are they really, truly our friends? And she went, no. I said, why do we choose to spend time with people who aren't our true friends? Let's spend that time with our family and with our true friends, not just with acquaintances, if you like.
Yeah.
So that's one thing I have learned. My sobriety, my friends' circle has decreased, but when I get this right for it, I will say it wrong when I speak to somebody. I'm getting quantity, no, quality over quantity. See,
I know. I understood it.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah, definitely, mate. Yeah, I'm always backwards. No, I agree with everything you said, and I do generally believe that mindset, the change of mindset this time round. When I've relapsed in the past, I've always, when I look back at it, you learn from every relapse as well. Yes. And when I look back at it, it was always when I'm going to drink again. Whereas this time, I don't want to drink again. And instead of thinking, oh, I'm missing out this Christmas, I looked forward to having a sober one instead of feeling like I was missing out. There was one particular time on Christmas Day where I caught a glimpse of someone necking a drink, and for a split second I was like, whoa. And I just went in the other room and just regrouped with myself, read something online and come back in, and I was absolutely fine again. And these days look forward to having sober Christmases and that. And another important thing that I want to bring up as well is that what I've learned from past experience, not to take your eye off the ball once Christmas and New Year is over, because yes. I've got through Christmas and New Year's and thought, yes. And then in the past, I thought, oh, I'm going to have a drink in January because I've done so well. And then think, oh, I'll just have one. Yeah. And then 3 months have gone past, and, well, we all know the rest of the story. But
yeah. No, you're spot on, mate. You're spot on. I mean, they do say that a year is a time when a lot of people relapse. Because, like you're saying, a lot of people go, oh, this is easy. Just stop drinking before, therefore I can stop drinking again. And you're right what you're saying. You know, I've done it before, and I think you have to relapse to learn, I guess, to learn what the trigger is. Mine was boredom. I think I'm fucking bored. You know, I need to drink. But now I've filled my life with so much stuff that I'm not bored. But at least the one drink, I'll just have two. Yeah, then you go down the next time and say, I'll just have three. Then before you know it, you know, you're getting up. And this is me personally.
Yeah, I think once you have that first drink as well, your whole mentality changes and you become that other version of yourself, don't you? Where you think, they say you hit the fuck it button, and that's so true. Once you have one drink, your whole mentality is, oh, well, I've had this one, I'll have another one. And then that is it. It's game over, isn't it? And I agree with what you're saying. I don't recommend anyone relapse, obviously, if you can do your journey without relapsing. But my relapses, I have learned a hell of a lot from it. I appreciate that I'm lucky because some people haven't made it back from a relapse, but I did learn an awful lot in my relapses. So it just becomes part of your story. If you do relapse, you should, people get the mentality, oh, I've lost all them days. You haven't lost them. You've still got that sobriety behind you. Now you just got to get back as quick as possible back on that horse. And I know it becomes harder each time because when you relapse, it gets worse and worse.
100%, mate. A guy called Craig Beck, I don't know if you've ever heard of him. He's called the Stop Drinking Expert. He's the very first podcast I listened to. He calls it the evil clown. So your subconscious is like your evil clown. So it's sleeping away in the background there. And then suddenly you have that drink, an evil clown, i.e. your subconscious goes, yes, I'm awake. That's feed me. And that's what you do. And then you spiral down the rabbit hole. Before you know it, you're waking up at 6 o'clock morning. This is me personally, pouring yourself a drink at a beer machine. You know, some of the disgusting things I've done, you know, are just terrible. You know, some of my drinking, you know, waking up at that time in the morning because you got home the night before at 6 o'clock, pissed, and then I call it the heebie-jeebie sleeps, and you get the heebie-jeebie sleep. You know, you wake up at 4 in the morning, you toss and turn. What do? You know what? Lockdown's taught me that I can have a beer anytime because I've got these beer machines, draft beer machines. And I go downstairs and neck a few of them, and then Nicola would get up, my partner, you know, and I neck another few. Before you know it, looking on the couch, pissed at 11 o'clock in the morning. It's just, when I think back, it's just, it's horrible to think that some of the stuff that I put the people that I love through.
Yeah.
I don't live in regret, Sam. I don't regret things.
No, I'm always looking forward. we've made mistakes, but I believe that we made mistakes to prevent others from doing the same. So you can take that experience and what you're doing with your past mistakes and my past mistakes. We're encouraging other people to not make the same, and we're using that now as armor to help other people. So you can always turn a negative into a positive, and that is what you're doing. And I can see that. So you should be proud of yourself, and like you say, don't have no regrets. Like you went through all that so that other people don't have to, mate.
Yeah, lived an experience, I think you call it.
Yeah, that's it, mate. Yeah. Anyway, mate, it's been absolutely brilliant catching up with you again.
Thank you.
My stomach's rumbling and I'm starving, so I'm gonna have to go and get some scram.
Are you making your own?
Scram before my life.
Are you making it your own? Are you making your own?
Nah, I've got a night off. I think the Colonel might make it for me. No, I've got to pick a sensible thing, but I'm not gonna. I'm meant to be picking a sensible thing, but I'm not gonna.
Thanks for having me on.
Coming on, mate. Really, really appreciate it. They're really great.
No, but thank you. It's lovely to meet you. Lovely to meet you.
Yes,
nice one, mate. And we'll be up in Scotland in the new year at some point. We'll arrange it with you, and we're going to jump in the Loch with you.
No, bar, mate. You anytime. I look forward to that, pal.
Nice one. Thank you so much. Take care.
Take care, buddy. See you, man.
See you later, mate.
Bye.
So he was great. Now I just felt like, I mean, he's quite clearly been through a lot. You can tell like the sort of early trauma come from, you know, when he was talking about his brother and whatnot, and yeah. I mean, it's tough. He seems like in a really good place now, though. I think he's got.
Yeah, and he's so honest as well. He's so honest,
really
which
honest.
is what I admire about him. I love seeing him. I'm a big fan of his on Instagram.
Yeah.
I love seeing his posts. He doesn't sugarcoat anything. He says if he feels shit, and he says if he feels good, and he's just honest. And I think if more people are like that, the world would be a better place, personally.
Oh yeah, so sure. Yeah, absolutely, mate.
Gary was a great guest.
Yes, Gary was brilliant. Yeah, I really like him. I like what he set up there. You know, you've got a kind of a mirrored group of what's going on down here in Felixstowe, happening up there in North and all over the place. There's lots of little groups like that, but to connect with someone who's on a similar sort of level and been through a similar sort of journey as yourself, just shows that there is help out there, and quite often that's just people sharing stories and you know, sharing what works for them. You know,
and do you know what
experiences?
Zach, do you know what, mate? I was thinking this the other day, and this, I love doing this. I love our podcast. It's our baby. I'm fucking proud of you, mate. You do a lot of work. I'm not even joking around now, being unsensitive. You do a lot of work, not just on the podcast, behind the scenes and everything. We're a good little team, and I'm really proud of this podcast. I'm looking forward to the future. And I want to thank you publicly, Jack. All right, for everything you do for Dare to Talk and for me as a friend.
Someone going to like come bursting in and like give me an award or something, or what's happening?
No, I'm the only one that's won awards out of this duo. But seriously, thank you.
Fuck you.
The people that haven't got Zoom or not watching this on YouTube, I'm holding up one of my many awards. This one's from the mayor for outstanding community service to the town of Felixstowe. Just put that next to my Pride of Britain. Oh.
Yes,
I tried to be nice to you, and I made it all about me.
You did, didn't you? You got a real talent there, Sam. But yes, no, I think this all started for me back in February, where I'd been messaging you and humming and hawing about whether to come down, and then I did, and then we just clicked on the beach, chatting away. Loved the cold water, that was great, and then yeah, it kind of went from there. We'd done a couple of episodes.
Yeah, you come on and shared your story. Probably my least favourite episode, if I'm honest. It dragged on. No, that was a very inspirational story, and that is why I asked you to come on. And people should go back and check that one out.
There's episodes 4 and 6, I believe, my ones.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, like, and then since then, mate, I wouldn't look back. I love what we do. I love meeting all the people that you get on, and I love the sharing of the stories and the impact we can have on people. And I just like it. I mean, I've got no delusions of grandeur. I like being able to put out some sort of positive form. But for people to kind of tune into and either get inspired or to feel like they're not alone. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. And when we first started doing it, I was hoping to grow it, and I'm sure we will grow this podcast. I know we will, because we're both determined.
Yeah.
But I didn't think it was going to help people further afield so quickly as well, and to get some of the messages that I got on Christmas Day from complete strangers. I was sat there with such a sense of like gratitude. It actually brought me to tears on Christmas Day, and it's not just Christmas Day. I've had messages and stuff you wouldn't even believe from things from people, and it's helping people, and that is what we set out to do, which is good. So
that was the bottom line, wasn't it? I mean, Dan said it himself. Dan Summers from Man Up, who come down on Christmas Day, and we surprised you, didn't we?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Dan said it quite well. That's just about trying to, shrink that stigma bubble around mental health and people sharing and being open and honest about how they're feeling and their vulnerability and whatnot. And
exactly, and the power of talking, and we touched on that in this episode as well. Gary said in this episode that he spoke to someone who asked him why he was going in the water. That sparks up a conversation, and you'll hear the rest in the episode. But the power of talking is very, very powerful.
Oh, absolutely, man. If we can have a small impact on that and help even just a few individuals, which I know we already have, then I see what we're doing as a success, mate. That's the be all end all of it, really.
And we're only just fucking getting started.
Just getting started. Yes. So onwards, mate. 2023. There's no end or limits to how far we can take this, mate. What was that?
Mic drop.
I mean, I'm sure there'll be more cringy and terrible moments from Sam going into 2023.
I promise I will not say peace out anymore. I don't promise that, actually. See you later, Jack.
Later.